Welcome back, guys, to the Evolution playlist. If you haven't been following along, look in the description below for a link to the playlist to find those other helpful videos. Today let's talk about how to bind the IA6C receiver to the Turnigy Evolution transmitter. This is a very, very simple process. First, let's talk about the transmitter. The receiver that came with your transmitter is already bound to it, so if you're trying to bind that one, don't worry about it, it's already bound. Now if you have purchased an additional receiver, you do need to bind those. So we want to click the settings button, and the first thing I would recommend doing is creating a new model, because if you bind a new receiver on the same model, then it's going to... We'll talk about that later in another video. Just for now, you can go to select model and pick number 2 or 3 or however many models you have, and you can also give your model a new name. After that, you want to click RX bind, and it's going to say binding to RX. Now if we look at the receiver, you'll see where it says ground, VCC, which is voltage, S-bus, and PPM. The only two wires we need right now are ground and voltage. We have to supply 5 volts to this receiver so it can be powered for it to be able to bind itself. The easiest way to do this is go ahead and wire your servo cable into your flight controller. Some flight controllers, whenever you plug in the USB cable, that will power the flight controller and receiver both. On some flight controllers, the USB will not do that. And for you guys, you will have to wire in a 5 volt power source from a PDB or some other 5 volt source, and then plug in your LiPo battery. So whatever flight controller you have, figure out if the receiver is getting power or not. You just want power going to the receiver. And like I said, you don't have to worry about S-bus or PPM right now. You can if you want. So I've got mine plugged in. My transmitter still says binding to RX. Once I plug in my USB cable to the flight controller, the transmitter will beep and it's going to say bind completed or something like that. And on my receiver, I am getting a solid red light. If you have a solid red light, then that means it's bound and properly working. If your red light is blinking, then that means you did not bind it correctly. And that is it. It's that simple. So like I said, look in the description for the playlist for other videos. The next video I will show you how to wire this into your flight controller and set it up in Betaflight. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.